So we held off on working on my 1970 Chevelle LS swap for a couple days, and the main reason is because another component has come in. And that other component is the vintage air for my car. I did not expect it to come in so soon, but since it is here, we are gonna take a break and put that vintage air in the car. So what that means is that plate on the back of the firewall, pretty sure we're gonna have to change that. And we are also gonna have to relocate our transmission cooler here, because I believe our condenser will fit in this area. So we're gonna start doing that and keep the ball rolling here. So we have our AC condensers now installed. We were able to put our lines in. You see that's where they come out there. Fortunately, this was a factory AC car, even though the box is missing. I have the box, but it was just never installed. So these holes here, we did not have to drill them. We just needed to put the grommets in and then run the lines through. So all that's set. So the next step is we will begin putting the evaporator in, which means that we're gonna remove this fender liner here so we can take this block off plate off and put the block off plate on that came in the vintage air kit. So we'll start doing that. So we pulled our entire dash out of the Chevelle. Not that you have to for vintage air, but because we wanted to put some insulation on our firewall, and then we also wanted to be able to mount our controller up here on the dash if possible, just so we can clean up a lot of the wiring. So now we're going to mount our evaporator and then continue forward with the installation. So we have all our insulation in on the firewall. We also have our panel here where our hoses pass through. We put a little bit of sound deadening here because there was a little gap from how the vintage air plate was made to how the original was made. So we just want to seal this off real good. So that's done. Now we'll mount our heater box in and then get our hose routed through and then get them passed out to the engine compartment. So we were able to get our evaporator unit mounted, but there's a couple things I want to change. I didn't like the way this hose would have had to mate up to the evaporator right here. So what I'm actually gonna do is get a 45-degree fitting for that. And this is like their dash 10 hose. So we're gonna change that. And then underneath the hood, you can see where this hose mounts out here, because this is a kit designed for a car with like a small block in it. So the air conditioning compressor would actually mount over here, but our air conditioning compressor mounts over here because we've got an LS as well as we're running a Holly mid mount. So what I am going to do is route that hose, I believe, all the way back around the firewall and then have it come in right here. I believe that's what we're gonna do. But I will determine for certain after I finish making all the changes underneath the hood. So we're gonna get our intake changed out, our valve covers, get our coils mounted, get our fuel system and everything like that finalized. And then I will determine where we mount that hose. So either it'll run from there all the way back around the firewall and then come back in here, or it might just run from there and come across our accessory drive and then pick up right here. So let's get that done. So this vintage air installation is gonna be a two-parter video. So this is part one. And then once we get the under the hood taken care of, we will finish up with part two. White One Auto, out.